At its heart, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is a hero collector game. It's also a role-playing game. You put your favorite teams out there, you compete against opponents, you compete against preset teams. You have a lot of fun doing that, but at the core of all of that is managing your resources in game, managing your energy, your gear, your credits, your shipbuilding materials, managing your time. I don't know if I'm going through time management here, but we're going to talk about managing your resources in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes for the best possible output on your account. This is Resource Management 101. Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good, otherwise known as the Nick Cannon of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, as I've recently been called. Your Star Wars dad, everybody's Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good, here with Resource Management 101, talking about how to manage your resources in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And I put a little banner up there. We're going to go back this banner multiple times throughout this video. And the theme of this is hoarding never hurts. It never hurts to not spend your resources, except energy. You got to spend that until you get double drops, then you hoard it. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Hey, if you've got resources, if you've got shop resources, if you've got gear, if you've got credits, if you've got shipbuilding materials, if you've got relic gear, if you've got signal data, you got Kyrotex, and you're not exactly 100%, and I mean 100% sure what to do with it, hoarding never hurt nobody. This is a great little mantra to live by up here. I can't recommend it more. I've had a lot of luck with hoarding over the years, and I'm going to show you kind of how that works right now by starting off on my Nooch 2 Lightspeed account right here. So I'm in a position right now where I'm not 100% sure of my next journey. I've got my Inquisitors all at 7 stars ready to farm, but if I take my Inquisitors to their max, because I'm going to have Reva here like in 2 weeks to a month, you know, that we're talking like 3,000 Kyrotex to get the whole journey. 3,000 Kyrotex to get the whole journey done. And right now, I've only got, what do I have here? I've got 765 of these, and I've got 455. I've only got 1,200 Kyrotex right now. So 1,200 is less than 3,000. Just an FYI. It's under 3,000 by almost a multiple of 3. Anyway, so I'm not ready to do that yet. I've also got my Jabba farm, pretty much. I actually had them all at 7 stars. I've also got Leviathan basically farmed. So I've got a lot of options sitting in front of me here in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but I'm also kind of waiting for the next road ahead. Like, what would I do there? Because I've got Sith Empire ready to go as well, where I could gear these guys up and go get Darth Revan. I'm kind of waiting out a couple of things right now in this account because I've really gone big in the last few months with Jar Jar. And prior to that, I unlocked, Jedi Master Luke, and we got Profundity here. So I'm getting some big stuff here recently. I'm stepping back for a little bit of time here to see what happens with the next road ahead and to see new Lightspeed bundles. So I am hoarding gear. And what did I say earlier? What did I say just a minute ago? Hoarding never hurt nobody. I'm just gathering up gear, and I've got placeholders here. I've got my Veers placeholder here. I'm not working to upgrade him. And we'll talk about this. We'll talk about how to do these upgrades in a moment too, but I'm using him to farm some of this gear. You can see I've only got like 1 full furnace built right now. That's not going to get me nowhere. And that kind of relates to my Inquisitors as well. If I started upgrading my Inquisitors right now, and let's say I spent the 1,200 Kyrotex I've got, that'll take care of 3 of these current Inquisitors, but I've only got 1 furnace. And there's just still 1 furnace. I've only got 1 HoloLens. And that's not going to go very far. With 5 characters that I need to relic, then in Grand Inquisitor, then Reva, so really 7 characters I need to relic, we're probably looking at least 7 furnaces and 7 lens, maybe 5 or 6 lenses and 5 or 6 holopads. There's a lot of gear and everything that I need to get these characters upgraded. Gear that I don't have right now, and that includes Kyrotex, it includes everything. So why would I jump in and start doing this Inquisitor? Why would I start look at 5th Brother? I could gear up 5th Brother right now. I could upgrade him to Gear 10. I could probably take 5th Brother to Gear 12 right now if I wanted to. To what end? Well, to having 5th Brother at Gear 12. And then I could take 8th Brother to Gear 12. Then Ninth Sister maybe to Gear 10. Then 2nd Sister and 7th Sister are sitting there at Gear 7 waiting for more gear. And I've got like a full month or more of farming ahead of me. Then I feel pressure on myself to go out and buy some gear. I'm putting pressure. I'm building pressure on my very own by doing these things. So don't farm out ahead of time. You know, you can hoard all the time, it's not gonna hurt nobody. And that leads me to my second point here, which is don't just fill in this gear. You know, you can see here on Veers, he's at gear 12. None of this gear's been filled in. Zori, no gear completed. Stark, no gear completed. You can see all across the top of my roster, I'm farming Range Trooper and Echo. 0 gear completed on these characters. Let's go down further on my roster. No gear on Iden, no gear on Bastila, no gear on Fives. The green pluses, by the way, mean that I have the gear built. I'm not applying this gear, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. In fact, I don't think do I have any characters on this roster that have random pieces of gear assigned? I do not. Congratulations to me. I have 0 characters on this roster with any extra gear applied. And what does this do? First of all, like I said a minute ago, I don't have enough to work on my Inquisitors or Jabba or anything right now. I could not relic a team of characters right now. I could maybe relic 1 character, and it might even take me a week to do that. So sit back. Now is a time to hoard. Relax. I unlocked Profanity. I did Jar Jar. I've gotten 4 Galactic Legends in the last, 10 months. It's time to step back a little bit and gather my surroundings and do a bunch of gear hoarding. So that's what I'm doing right now. But just a tip for you guys, do not add gear to these characters until you're fully prepared to finish the team 100%. So let's say Veers was the last Imperial Trooper I needed, or maybe the last requirement I had for Sith Eternal. I'd be adding this gear right now. I might as well go ahead and add it and get it done. So I got 1 piece left there. So when you're in the situation where you know exactly what you need, you got 2 or 3 characters left, you can add gear to them, willy-nilly as you get it. That's fine. But in a situation like this where you've got future farming really in mind, just hoard it up and save it all up, and then just drop it all right at that perfect moment to get everybody up to their relic levels. So that's my first piece of advice. Hoarding never hurt nobody, and don't just add gear to these characters willy-nilly. Hey, let's take a look at my other account, because I've got the same thing going on over there. Here's my Nooch Vader account, and I'm applying the same principles with this account at level 77. I'm not even to level 85 yet. You can see there's just I'm not just adding this gear to these, even to my main team, which is the Bad Batch and Captain Rex. I'm not just throwing gear on them willy-nilly. My secondary team, the Troopers, I'm not doing the same thing. I'm saving that gear up. Yeah, I did have 1 piece on Captain Rex and 1 piece on Wrecker. Okay, sue me. But it's just really, really, really important, guys. Even when you know what your farming is, just save it up, apply it all at once. You're gonna thank me later when you're working on Bad Batch, and then all of a sudden something comes out and you go, oh no, I gotta shift my farming because I got a Lightspeed bundle now, it gets me halfway to gas. But you've got all the gear saved up for all the stuff now that you need on the side that you hadn't anticipated before with the Lightspeed bundle or whatever happens in your game. So you're better off just saving up the gear, doing it on both accounts. Now that I'm in this account, let's talk about credits and shipbuilding materials. That resource is really important. I have 4 million credits right now. That is not enough credits to take a character from level 1 to level 85. It's not enough. So that's not very many credits that I have at the moment. So what am I going to do with credits? The early game credit crunch is very real. We've talked about it for years on this channel. What are you going to do about credits? Now, I have a confession to make at this point of the video. I recorded this entire video previously, and I didn't have my mic. It was off. I don't know how. I somehow turned my mic off, and so 30 minutes down the drain, or 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back. But hey, and I thought I'd already had these picked, but I guess I refreshed. So guys, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, buy credits right here. Kaboomba. And sometimes you'll see shipbuilding materials here too. I am very short on shipbuilding materials as well, which is basically credits for ships. You wanna spend, especially early game, you wanna spend a lot of time in these 2 nodes refreshing and adding credits to your roster. It's really, really, really important. And you can also manage it as well with, you time your raids out. Do I have raid rewards coming in, or did I already get them? Hang on. So I must have already gotten raid rewards. You can kind of time it out with your raid rewards. If you know you got raid rewards coming in a couple of days, maybe you get a little more aggressive with that. Maybe you're a little more conservative if you don't see a raid on the table. Another way to manage your resources. But you need a smuggler team for credit heist, obviously, and you should be getting credits other ways. But This is a very important tool to use to add credits to your roster right here in the guild activity store. Now, I should point out that throughout this video, we're going to be talking about gear farming and all the shops and everything, but I have specific videos made for those. I've got a gear farming guide for 2024. I've got a beginner's guide to all the shops out there as well. So I'm gonna direct you to those videos. So maybe I'll put some pins up there. I'll put links to those in the back, or you can just look them up. Look up Nooch Too Good, gear farming, Nooch Too Good, shops, and you'll find those videos out there on my channel on YouTube. They can help you as well. Of course, I'm also using those. I've got Han Solo at 100 out of 100. Young Han Solo, let's just finish him up right now. He's kind of been a carry for me in Credit Heist early on, believe it or not. I was really surprised that I'd never had him before, so big shout out to your pal of mine, Glermit, for anyway. So, but that's what you want to do with your credits, and it's the same thing with the shipbuilding materials. You'll see them sometimes available there. If you see them and you have the Mark 1 currency available, buy the shipbuilding materials. You can see I'm really up against it right now. I hardly have any. If I looked at what I can do here, I can add a couple levels to 5s here, which actually is my most important ship right now, but something I have to consider. Do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? How am I balancing my farming in the game right now? I can upgrade an ability. Now let's talk about these ship ability mats, ship and character ability mats, since we looked at that. You always want to make sure that you're right here, I'm going to add this. As I mentioned, 5s is a really important ship to me. So, and I've got 130 blue ones, 316 green ones. That is good enough for me to say, I'm going to be okay if another one pops up. However, let's go back and look at my character list right now and talk about ability mats and ability upgrades over there. Let's go look at 5s, the pilot of that ship I was just looking at. And I've got abilities here that I could upgrade for him. I need to take him to level 78. Oh, let's not look at 5. Well, there you go. I have Omegas. I've only got 3 Omegas here. Now, this is... I'm not really worried about his character abilities at this point. I'm really more worried about him getting more galactic power to help his ship run better so I can perform better in Fleet Arena. Because right now I'm thinking at 110, 112 in Fleet Arena. It's not good enough. I'm building that Galactic Republic fleet. But anyway, the more you add to your character, abilities, mods, levels, gear, the better off their ship is going to perform as well. But even when I get 5 Omegas, when I get 2 more Omegas, I'm not sure I'm going to come right back here and apply this right away because I need a lot of Omegas. A lot of my characters need Omegas right now, and a lot of characters need level upgrades. Let's find a different character who's got, where are we here? Let's go take a look at, let's look at Mace Windu. There we go. Mace Windu is the pilot of my Endurance right now. That's my main ship right now. I got several abilities of his I could upgrade. I have 14 blue, 34 green, 70 purple. You got to pay attention to these. You've got to pay attention to these. How many do you have available? Do you want to spend it right now? Do you want to hoard for maybe a couple of days? That's what I do a lot. I'll save these up for a couple of days and I'll go apply them in bulk. Because if I did this one right here, that's it. That's the only upgrade I get. And I'm not really worried about Mace Windu as a character. I'm more worried about him as an admiral for my fleet. So I can do these upgrades, but it's just going to be one upgrade for me. So pay attention to that. Don't just go apply abilities at willy-nilly again, everywhere. Save them up for a day or two. Then pick one character and upgrade them, as you go. Pick one team at a time. Stay on one team. You're going to have a lot of trouble managing resources if you're upgrading all sorts of teams and all sorts of characters all at once. Let's scroll down a little bit here. By the way, we're going to get to energy here, I promise you. A lot of you have been asking about energy lately. I promise we'll talk about that soon. Another way to save resources. I'm not upgrading these characters. Now, that's only 100 credits per. It's not expensive just to activate a character, but I don't get in that habit. I don't want to get in the habit of activating characters and then I want to, I can get my Gungas leveled up, and if I level them up, they can be a good team. But as soon as I start gearing them up, well, it costs me on my Imperial Troopers and my Bad Batch and Captain Rex that I'm working on right now. It costs me on my pilots and crew members that I'm working on right now. So I got to be careful about that. So, and you can also see here, I have a lot of characters, level 1, level 17, level 111. Level 17 with Ray Scavenger was early on for some early levels. 22 for Tebow, same. But you see those low gear levels on a few characters. That was for some early, nodes that I did, and I had to have those characters leveled up. But everybody else, if I activate them, level 1, haven't even done Mando yet because I can't afford the gear. You just got to be careful here, guys. You don't want to be leveling up. I could spend all these guys. I could get them all leveled to like level 30, level 40, and spend all my 4 million credits. But then that's going to hurt me later when I want to upgrade these guys that I'm actually using all the time right now. Stick with one team at a time. Manage the resources on that one team, one character at a time. We say it all the time with everything in the game. One character at a time, one team at a time, one mod set at a time, one mod at a time, one piece of gear at a time. Narrow your focus, and that will help you manage. I don't know what this is, but I'm doing it. Narrow, we're gonna make this a thing on the channel now. Narrow your focus. Narrow that focus so that you are just not wasting resources. The best way to waste resources is to get a wide focus here or to lose focus. Do shiny new objects. That's the best way to waste resources in game. Let's talk about prestige a little bit, and then I'm gonna move on and we will talk about, I don't have sound on for this too. Whatever, you get the idea. I have trouble going back and forth between BlueStacks and the PC client. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get the PC client for everybody so I can get both accounts on the PC client. But let's talk about prestige for a minute. This is important. So, at the beginning of the game, you're farming all these characters in here, or the characters you need. Like, I got Mace Windu maxed out. I'm working on Tarkin right now because I want to be ready for, Zeta and ability mats as soon as I get that open here very soon. Asajj is a character for Gas and also for your Night Sisters. Greedo for Jabba. Savage by himself or with Traya. Admiral Akbar for your home one if you want him there. Or for Leia. Newt Gunray for Separatist. Sidious for Sith Eternal. There's a lot of characters in here to unlock. I wouldn't say there's a lot of super duper needed early characters. Kanan is a very needed early character that you can get in here very cheaply. But once you get all the characters that you've got, and you're ready to go, like once I get Tarkin done, I want to get him to 7 stars. I'm going to get that done. Then I'm going to step back a little bit here, and I'm going to start farming prestige. Get this through your heads. If you get nothing else through your heads, you never have enough prestige. And you don't buy credits here. We used to buy credits here with this stuff sometimes, but just do it in the guild activity store. Trust me with that. Prestige, you need like 1,200 to 1,500. I don't know the exact math. Somebody tell me the exact math. I think each ship is a little bit different, but you need a poop load of prestige for each capital ship in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. As soon as you got your characters ready, don't keep farming characters that you aren't going to need anytime in the next 6 months, okay? And actually, it only takes like a week to 7-star character down here, maybe 2 weeks. So you can be pretty flexible in this shop. You don't have to like go all out on this shop all the time. I'm going to grab, in fact, I'm going to buy some prestige right now. Let's do that. I'm going to buy some prestige. I'm going to hold off on Tarkin a little bit because I can get Tarkin to 7 stars in a few days if I need to do that. I can handle that, no problem. So I have 25 prestige right now. Your capital ships require a lot of prestige. Farm that wherever possible. You don't have to get every character down here. Just get the ones you need before you farm prestige. And one more note about all of this as we talk through it. There's no way for me to cover every single possible topic for managing your resources in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I thought I would be able to add some of these. That's 25. Can I not add these at all? Ship level 70, and I don't have enough to get to 70. Nope. See, I don't have any shipbuilding materials. I don't have enough. I'm saying. You'll never be able to learn everything from a video as far as managing your resources, and everybody does it a little bit differently. So you got to play. You got to do it a few times. You got to see where you make mistakes. You got to. I'm a big guy I'm an iterative guy. I want to do things over and over and over and over again until I find the best way to do it. And that's what you're going to be doing in this game. You'll be doing things over and over and over again until you find the best way to make it work for you. So do that. Make sure you're relying on your own guidance as well in game. Now let's jump over to the other account. We're going to talk about a little bit about shop currency. We'll talk about Relic Gear, Bronziums, and energy. Let's talk about Bronziums right here first. So, hey, you get this ally points. You get this ally points here. The only place you ever spend this is on these Bronziums. Never anywhere else. Get yourself an auto clicker. Get it going on your phone or your iPad or your computer, whatever. Get an auto clicker going for yourself so you can just save up like 50 to 100,000 of these and run through them all in one sitting. You can make it happen. You can do it for yourself. Never, ever, ever, since we're managing resources, those Bronziums will give you lots of low-level gear, which is important gear because it converts to Relic Gear later. Low-level gear, lots of character shards, which will convert to shard shop currency later. It's lots of important stuff. You can waste all that. You can waste all of it. Where is it? Not here yet. No, where are we? I know it's here. I think it's in the weekly shipment, right? You do want to buy Omegas here when you have the currency. Do I need to go to the other account? I thought it was in the weekly shipment. It's not in the featured shipment. I'm going to jump to the other account. I feel like it's kind of out of order here. So let's go to the other account. Okay, I found it here in the weekly shipment. I don't know if I was missing it on the other one or what, but hey, never spend your ally points here. 14K for 5 Carbantes. You don't got to spend that to get 5 Carbantes in this game. I mean, you can probably get 5 Carbantes for like 1,500 ally points by spending it on Bronziums. eventually with the shard shop currency, if that's where you want to spend it. Shard shop should be spent elsewhere, but again, I've got a gear and I've got a gear farming guide and a shop guide. Those will help you with that, but don't spend them here. You can definitely buy Omegas here for sure with your Mark 1 raid currency. So that's kind of all. And you know, again, there's never anything wrong with hoarding your currency here. If you notice here, I got 3,000 of this. I can go through that all right now. 400, I can get 10 of these and be done with it. You can spend this stuff faster than you can wiggle your nose. You can never have enough of this. You can have tens of thousands of these shop currencies, and it's not enough. Don't worry. See how fast you go through it. So don't worry if you just want to wait a little while and hoard this up too. Hoarding never hurt nobody. It never hurts. So don't be afraid to hoard up this shop currency as well, and then drop it like it's hot when you know exactly where you want to spend it. It's not going to hurt you for sure. Trust me on that. You know what, guys? I think I've covered everything. Well, we're talking about Relic Gear here. Let's talk about energy first. So a lot of you have been asking me lately, beginners to the game, how do you spend your energy? And I'm going to talk specifically about that. You have your regular energy here. You have your ship energy, your mod energy, and your cantina energy. Regular energy, ship energy, and mod energy all have 350 crystal refreshes. Let's go up. I'm at my hundreds on this account. I'm gonna pop over the other account again. I guess that's what we're gonna do. So let's go over the other account because that's more apropos for a new player. So here I've already gone through my 50s. Every day of your life in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, no matter where you are in the game, you go through all 3 of the 50 crystal refreshes for your regular energy for farming. And you really want to stick almost exclusively for a long time to farming character shards until you need Kairos and you got character shards farmed out the wazoo. You don't necessarily have to refresh ship and mod energy. If you're able to, that's great. You can see I've only got 294 crystals here. I'm not getting crystals from Fleet Arena yet. I'm not getting Grand Arena crystals yet. So there's a struggle there. You got to be careful. You got to manage your crystals as well. If you're buying crystals, you have a little more flexibility. And when my Nooch 2 Lightspeed account, I spent the first year, but always making sure I had enough crystals to do 3 refreshes here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here, which is a total of 300, 450, 600, 750 crystals per day, which I got back some in Fleet Arena and then some from Grand Arena, but maybe not all of it. So you got to watch your, like 750 crystals per day to do all of this. I can't afford it right now. Eventually I'll be able to, as my roster builds and grows, eventually I'll be able to refresh all 4 of these nodes as well. If I had to prioritize, always this one first, farm, refreshes 3 times, get your character shards. Then, you know, ship energy or mod energy, it's gonna depend. And cantina energy is a really great way to farm characters fast. So if you've got a bunch of crystals and you want to get a character farm fast, refreshing this 3 times a day will get you really fast to a lot of characters that are available in cantina nodes. But mainly, focus on this regular energy early until you get a bunch of extra crystals in tow. Doesn't hurt you to hoard crystals ever, either. You can hoard crystals too. So that's my reflection on energy for all you guys out there. I'd say this is number 1. Number 2 is going to depend with these 3 on where you are in the game. You're never going to go wrong with mods. You'll never go wrong with farming ship energy, with farming either multiple ships or getting a bunch of Gear 12 finishers with it. And you'll never go wrong with spending cantina energy for characters or signal data. Let's jump over to the other account now, and let's talk about farming for relics, and then we'll be done with this right now. You can see I've got Old Daka up here as a placeholder right now. I'm leaving her at Relic 7. Right now, I've got a lot of signal data because I farm this with my Cantina energy. And the reason I'm only farming signal data with my Cantina energy right now is my next 3 or 4 farms are already done on Cantina energy. My Inquisitors don't need any more shards, so I'm done with Cantina energy there. If I look at my Bounty Hunters and my Hut Cartel for Jabba, they're all at 7 stars. I don't need to spend any Cantina energy on those characters. If I look at my Leviathan farming and my ships, I've got those ships done. I've got Mark 6 Interceptor and Sith Fighter. Those are Cantina farms there. I've got those ships done to 7 stars. And that's 3 major farms ahead of me that I've already got sharded in the Cantina. I still got some Scimitar shards here, some B28, but that's regular energy and fleet energy to spend. So, since my Cantina energy is done for 3 major farms in front of me, I'm just farming signal data right now. And that's what you got to look at. You got to plan farms out like 6 months ahead of time. If you don't plan your farms out 6 months ahead of time, honestly, and you got to have early targets, late targets, and later targets for sure. If you don't have it planned out, you're going to be wasting resources. The best way to manage your resources is to plan your farming and farm your planning, right? I don't have a lot of these right now, for sure. Another instance of why I shouldn't go ahead and work on my Inquisitors, because I don't even have the Relic Gear to upgrade them with yet. I've got a lot of work to do here as far as recovering from Jar Jar and Profundity and waiting to see what the next announcement is in the game. You can never have enough of this stuff. And these pieces right here, not Chromium Transistor, but this stuff is why, and I've got in my gear farming guide, I go over how to farm all this stuff. This is why I say you can't ever have enough of the, the early game material gets you a bunch of relic material to farm. So that's really it. You can hoard this stuff too, and that's really all I've got to say about resource management for your credits and shipbuilding materials, for your gear, for not adding gear. If you're not ready to 100% ready to go to the next tier or the next full team, don't add gear. Prestige and ship ability mats and character ability mats, your Bronziums, your Relic Gear, and your energy. There is Resource Management 101. Go out there and play with it. Let me know if I missed anything. Like I said, I think it's impossible to cover everything in this video, but hopefully this helps you out. And everybody, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for all the support. I will talk to you soon. Always remember, Nooch Too Good.